Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Haribo Gaura Haribo हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की. So I would like to welcome all of you for today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 25th chapter, text 15. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayarmudirayet. Nashtaprayesu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavateruttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistike. Mukam karoti vachalam pangolangayatengirim yatkripatamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Cetaḥ khalvasya bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Cetaḥ khalvasya bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya ratam va puṁsi muktaye. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya ratam va puṁsi muktaye. Cetaḥ khalvasva bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya ratam va puṁsi muktaye. Cetaḥ khalvasya bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya ratam va puṁsi muktaye. Cetaḥ khalvasva bandhāya matam. Tam bandhāya Cetaḥ khalvasya bandhāya cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya puṁsi muktaye. Cetaḥ khalvasva bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya mothers. Cetaḥ khalvasya bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya ratam va puṁsi muktaye. Cetaḥ khalvasva bandhāya muktaye cātmano matam. Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya ratam va puṁsi muktaye. Word to word meaning. Cetaḥ, consciousness. Khalu, indeed. Asya, of him. Bandhāya, for bondage. Muktaye, for liberation. Cha, and ātmanaḥ, of the living entity. Matam is considered. Guṇeṣu, in three modes of nature. Saktam, attracted. Bandhāya, for conditional life. ratam, attached, va, or puṁsi, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, muktaye, for liberation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. The stage in which the consciousness of the living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature is called conditional life. But when that same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation. Please kindly repeat. The stage in which the consciousness of living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature is called conditional life. But when that same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation. Thank you. Purport. There is a distinction here between Krishna consciousness and Maya consciousness. Guṇeṣu or Maya consciousness involves attachment to the three material modes of nature, under which one works sometimes in goodness and knowledge, sometimes in passion, and sometimes in ignorance. These different qualitative activities with the central attachment for material enjoyment are the cause of one's conditional life. When the same cetaḥ or consciousness is transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or when one becomes Krishna conscious, he is on the path of liberation. Hare Krishna. So before that I could speak something, I like to beg for the mercy and blessings from all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. And let's have a small little prayer. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamstha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Devatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So one of the most celebrated chapter of third canto, the glories of devotional service, is going on. And here we see Devhuti, Mother Devhuti, having gotten his son in leisure time. She approaches and asks for very pertinent questions. So she is telling that you have appeared just like the sun for me. Sun, of course, S-O-N sun, and S-U-N sun, and I is also for me. Because through you only I am going to see the path of liberation. And she asked that, and before that we see in some slokas before, she is asking that, please tell me the difference and the relationship between Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti means material nature, and Purusha means the Jivas. Of course, one Purusha is Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is another Purusha, the Jiva, so spirit and matter. So, and also Srila Prabhupada writes that relationship between man and woman. So, and also she asks that Sammoham pa krashtum tvam arashi. So please dispel my delusion because of myself understanding to be body. I am slackened into the false ego by your Maya and identifying myself with the body and relationships. And the third thing she asks, that is tasyatam tamaso andasya dusparasya paragam Satchakshur janmana mante labdham me tad anugrahat. And also she asked that because I am considering myself with the body and my senses are the asat senses, means which is always going toward asat sense gratification, asad indriya tarshanat. So because of this sense disturbance, I have fallen into abyss of ignorance. So we see these three things, three requests are done by Mother Devahuti to her son Kapila Muni. So in the answer to that, we see today, Lord is telling about this, how this bondage and liberation is happening through the via media of cetaḥ, the mind. Cetaḥ khalv bandhāya muktaye. Certainly this consciousness is responsible for both of things. Either bandhāya means bondage and muktaye, liberation. How? Guṇeṣu saktam bandhāya. Guṇeṣu means when the ceta, the consciousness is attached or attracted with guna. Guna means the three modes. Guna also means the ropes. So it is attached with the ropes of three modes of material nature. So then what happens? Bandhāya, he gets bound. But the same consciousness, when it is ratam, ratam means it is attached to puṁsi, ratam va puṁsi, with Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the same consciousness becomes the instrument for the soul's liberation. So this ceta is very central pivot, we can say central element, upon which everywhere throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everywhere, this ceta is very, very of the great importance. Everywhere Lord is telling that, think about me, right? Throughout the whole Vedic literatures, the axiomatic point is that always how Jiva can think about Krishna, right? Because everything depends upon it. But being in this material world, Jiva has their own conditionings because of this attachment and attraction toward three modes of material nature. Srila Prabhupada writes that these three modes of material nature, Maya, Shakti, having two types of potency. One is called avaranatimika, means covering potency. Another is called prakshapatmika, means pulling potency. One is covering, another is pulling. So, like this threads, or we see this ropes. How anybody is covered, either through blanket or through some clothes, right? These clothes are also nothing but fine threads, right? Fine threads. By this, every jiva is covered. Even though he thinks himself to be uncovered, but he is covered. Covered by what? Avidya. Covered by ignorance. And he is imperceptibly covered. He doesn't know he is covered, but he is always covered. So this is like one level. By the thread he is fully covered. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Kalyana Kalpataru, that how the jiva is originally part and parcel an eternal servant of Krishna, and he is actually Prakriti in relation with Krishna. But somehow or other, for sense enjoyment, he falls down. And then he gets himself in the position of so-called Purusha. So he is not Purusha, but he takes the position of Purusha of enjoying this material world, the nature. So as soon as he does so, before that, to do that, to enjoy, he cannot enjoy unless he gets this avidya, right? To enjoy something, you need to get into, to enjoy something material, we need to forget something spiritual, isn't it? That's why the devotees becomes for devotees to fully enjoy the sense gratification is very difficult, right? Even though we feel like, okay, sometimes you should enjoy the material world, but so much of vidya has been installed in the system that when you go to enjoy, then immediately all the vidya starts coming up, right? Truly we cannot enjoy. Only two types of people can truly enjoy, Srimad Bhagavatam tells. Either one is fully ignorant fool who doesn't know anything, fully covered by avidya. Another is a fully enlightened jiva, having always 24/7 having connection with Krishna. But in the mediocre people like me, who have neither full connection with Krishna nor fully ignorant, that means this much Bhagavad Gita we know a little bit, right? ABCD. So we cannot enjoy fully. That's the situation. But this is not the ultimate platform where we can be always. Either we have to choose. To enjoy, either we have to choose the downmost other or else the topmost one. So this avidya to enjoy, to this material world to enjoy, Supreme Lord, out of great mercy, he gives the first blanket of avidya, covering. And what is that? That is forgetfulness of Krishna and our relationship with him. The jiva first forgets it altogether. We can see in our day-to-day life, like how many moments we are remembering Krishna. Of course, for me, for myself, I see sometimes like throughout the whole day, like what is the percentage of 24/7 I am remembering Krishna. Of course, the 6 hours of sleep, I am helpless, but at least for the rest of the time. So this is this is called avidya, the first level of avidya, and which immediately, consequently gets to the second covering or the second string of covering of avidya, that is called asmita. That living entity starts considering himself to be the body, and he fully understands that I am this body. Thereafter, the third level of avidya also covers, that's called rag, asmita. Then rag means whatever things and people which are in relationship with the body, that the attachment increases with him or with her or with things or whatever. And he thinks that these things are going to give me pleasure in the future, in the life, and so on and so forth. And then because of this raga has come, then also the another flip side of raga, the flip side of raga is dvesha, is also appears right there. Raga and dvesha means the things which are not going to satisfy my senses, the people, those who are going to obstruct my sense gratification, they should be my enemies, and they should be dealt about, they should be taken care of. So this is dvesha, the abhorrence, the aversion with those things comes. And thereafter he gets so much engrossed into these thoughts, then the fifth and the ultimate layer of avidya, which is called abhinivesh, appears. Abhinivesh means fully absorbed in material consciousness. And he thinks that if death comes, means that's the something which I have to avoid, because he can never see anything beyond this particular life. He's fully absorbed into it. So this is called avranatmika, is fully covering the jivas 24/7 helplessly, imperceptibly and helplessly. Every jiva is covered by this avidya. And because of that, not only we have forgotten Krishna, but whatever we remember, those things also we forget, right? Whatever we have eaten some days back, do we remember? Whatever sloka I remember some years back, maybe decades back, I am forgetting that. Why? Because the source of everything, Krishna, has been forgotten. Right? Because Krishna has been forgotten, the jiva is forgetting everything. Practically just living to know something and forget something, right? Today you know something just to forget it tomorrow. So this continuously, this influence of avidya is working upon us. That's called avranatmika. And then the second is called prakshepatmika. Prakshepatmika means you try to get out from here, then it will pull you back. Where are you going? Better come back again. So these three modes, these three ropes are binding the, like chains, right? Different chains. And this is also such a, even though we can opt for getting out of it, but we cannot. We become accustomed of it, right? Like imperceptibly. Just like a small little elephant, a small baby elephant, if you bind it, that small little baby elephant is very thin thread. And that baby elephant becomes accustomed to getting bound by the thin thread, and he cannot get out of it. And when he grows, when he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, still he always thinks that this small little thread is binding me. I can never get out of it. Even though you don't increase the size of the rope, size of the rope is same. Three gunas are always working. But because the living entity has forgotten his real glory, who is he? He is imperceptibly not going toward him, going toward Krishna. So that's why he is bound. And he's thinking that this is my position and I am supposed to be like this only bound. So like this we see living entities are imperceptibly being bound by this prakshepatmika shakti. And the culture, previous cultivations, we can sanskaras, are so tough to break, so tough to break. Even though he sometimes takes up very great vows that I will do such and such service and such things. And he finds that because he's not able to do it, because of previous sanskaras, because this material nature is pulling him back again. You know, this mode of ignorance, he thinks like, okay, life is good anyway, just chill pill, just eat, drink and be merry, come on. So laziness, sleep, drowsiness, life goes on in mode of ignorance. Mode of passion, hankering, greed. Okay, life will go on like this. And in the mode of goodness, sometimes some people, they come in mode of goodness, they feel like, I am good. These people are all ignorant. I am better than them at least. Ami bhalo, I am better, right? So I am better than this. I am better than these people. I am clean. I know so many slokas. So then in this way he is in mode of goodness. So like this, he is fully bound. And he is just going on like this. So who can help in this condition? So the jiva is helpless. Nobody can help him. Unless he gets help from someone who is out of this network. First of all, he is covered by the net, and also inside the net he is bound with the ropes. Right? I don't know whether you have seen such birds, they get captured by this, first with a net. Of course, they are not bound inside. But we have twofold. First is covering of so many blankets of avidya, and down inside you are also bound with the ropes. We are bound with the ropes. So in this condition, only the jiva, only the entities, those who are free from the bondage, they can help us. Otherwise, helpless. There is no other way to getting out of it. That's why further number of slokas ahead, Kapil Muni is going to tell, Prasangam ajaram pasam ātmanaḥ kavyo vidu sa eva sadhu sukrito mukṣadvaram apavritam. So this prasangam ajaram pasam, this rope is ajaram pasam. It cannot be burned, cannot be cut to pieces. So who can help us? The same attachment it happens with sadhu. Saeva sadhu sukrito mukṣadvaram apavritam. So everything starts from association of sadhu, the proper association of sadhu. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita tells, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, so tar lati khai. Kama, Krodha, daso hoya tar lati khaya. Brahmite jadi sadhu vaidya paye. So jiva is just moving around in this material world. Sometimes he becomes servant of kama, the lust. Sometimes he becomes servant of krodha. And tar lati khai means he gets beatings of these three modes, this maya. And brahmite jadi sadhu vaidya paye. And in this way, wandering throughout the whole material world, from Brahmaloka till Patal, somehow if he gets the mercy of sadhu. And we see in 5th canto there is a very beautiful sloka comes. When great amassment of pious activities, when jiva accumulates, then he gets the chance of getting to see such great sadhus. And another place, Muchukunda Maharaj tells that when living entity becomes matured enough to get liberated, he gets the association of sadhu. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells it is actually flips other way. When he gets the association of sadhu, then the liberation begins. I mean, the path of liberation starts. But the cause is put before the effect, sometimes to emphasize upon the cause. The cause of everything for us coming in this association of devotee is sadhu sangha. Somehow or other, somewhere, maybe in the form of tree, we had become that, maybe some tree of, giving some good flowers, and some sadhu has climbed upon the tree and plucked out some flowers, offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. And that we have got some little. Maybe some people has given charnamrita water in our root, being a tree. We have got some little Mahaprasadam through the root. Or somewhere other, like lizard, maybe we would have been lizard. So in this way, we have got the connection of such great souls. And that's why we have now here, taking association of great souls in the human form of life, right? So sadhu vaidya paye, then after what happens? Brahmite jadi sadhu vaidya paye. Tar mantra upadeshe maya pishachi palaye. This is simple Bangla. So when that says that sadhu vaidya means is a doctor, right? Sadhu vaidya is what is called vaidya. Another meaning is kaviraj. So kaviraj gives different medicines, prescribes medicine, and when that prescribed medicine is taken up by the jiva, tar mantra upadeshe pisachi palaya. The pisachi maya is considered to be pisachi, means witch. They are not leaving him anyway. Like no matter like in Hindi it is told tum dal hum paat. The jiva is trying to go, try to escape from it, and the Maya is right there, ahead of him, right? So this is the situation. So then when some jiva, when takes up Krishna consciousness, by the instruction of Sri Guru, such acharyas, then what happens? Then Pesachim Palay. Then what happens? Krishna nikat jaye, Krishna charana paye. Then after that, the jiva comes closer to Krishna and he gets Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Hari himself. So like this living entity, though They have the, we have the always, chitta has to be put from conditional modes to Krishna, right? But to make it becomes very difficult. I don't know about all of us, but for me it's very, very difficult. That's why Vedas tell us always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. But it becomes only practical when we take the prescriptions of sadhu vaidya. Otherwise it remains simply it remains theoretical. I mean, very difficult. So when somebody takes up the mission of Sri Guru, he takes up the service and order of instructions of Sri Guru, sadhu vaidya, then Krishna consciousness becomes very, very easy, very, very practical. Krishna, it's not like you need to think about Krishna. Of course, we should always think about Krishna. But how it would be like Krishna start thinking about you, right? Now, Krishna comes automatically in your mind, right? Just like we chant. That's why the prescription is there, chant at least 16 rounds and follow 4 guiding principles. When we take these instructions, simple instructions, not just because now we can chant and I am great chanter, but because we have got this opportunity from Sri Guru to chant out of gratitude, at least at the level of gratitude. When we chant, then what comes? Krishna comes. Krishna appears in the cetaḥ. Cetaḥ khalu asya. So when the same ceta becomes connected, becomes attracted toward puṁsi, Sri Krishna, then what happens? Muktaye, he becomes liberated. Otherwise, simply he is hopeless and helpless. So this is what we try to understand, this factor of remembering Krishna always. Of course, every time, moment to moment, we have this opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness. And this is what the cardinal principle, once again, that out of reading of so many times Vedic literatures, one comes to the conclusion of Krishna's statement, Man manabhav mad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru mam vaisisi yuktavam ātmanam mad parayanaha. So, keeping Arjuna to be the instrument, Krishna has instructed this most important jewel of Vedic literatures, that Jiva has only one business to do, that he has to always think about Krishna and he has to never forget Krishna. But this position could be only facilitated when somebody takes up the service of Sri Guru, service of Sadhu Vaidya very sincerely and seriously. So today is also very auspicious disappearance day of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahashaya. So we like to see some glories of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur and also his most celebrated treatise, Chaitanya Bhagavatam. So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is none other than this Kusuma Pida Sakha in Krishna Lila. Srila Kavi Karnapur, he writes in his book Gaur Gunadesh Deepika, Ved Vyaso ya evasid daso vrindavano adhuna sakha yah kusuma pida karyatastam samavishat. So he is Ved Vyas himself, of course, of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, who appeared in, some people they say he appeared in Navdeep, in the place called Mamgasi. Some people they have the opinion of he appeared in Kumarhatta. Kumarhatta is currently the place called Kancharapada. I don't know whether I have been there. Kancharapada. So some people they say like that. So he is the son of Narayani Devi, the niece of Srivas Thakur, appears in Saka era, 1429, 1507 AD. And in his childhood he stayed for some time in Mamgachi in Navadip, and also for some time he stayed in the place called Kumarhatta. And afterwards when he meets with Lord Nityananda Prabhu, so he goes along with Nityananda Prabhu for the Sankirtan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So Nityananda Prabhu was flooding whole Gauda Desh. So while going all the way, he visits the place called Dhenur. There is a place in Bardhaman district called Dhenur. And the similar pastime took place of Haritaki. Nityananda Prabhu had a lot of prasadam, and he asked Vrindavan that could you get some Haritaki for better digestive, So he got it, and he had kept some more from some other places. So immediately he produced it. So Nityananda Prabhu asked, from where you got it? So I had a stock of Haritaki previously. Oh, you are having like Grihastha mentality. You can stay here at this place. You get married and stay here. So he stayed here, and Nityananda Prabhu ordered him that you write this biography of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he writes sitting there in the place called Dhenur. That place is still there. Lord God Nityananda's wonderful deity is there. And still a very old village setting, very beautiful place. Been there some numbers years back. So in Dhenur, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes Chaitanya Bhagavat. And the glories of Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he writes, that Chaitanya Nityananda nahi esava vichar, naam laite prem den bahe ashrudhar. So the considerations of offenses which is there, the 10 offenses which is there in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, these considerations are not there for chanting Lord Nityananda and Gaurachandra. Just chant the names of Chaitanya and Nityananda, and as you take them, those names, then what will happen? Naam laite prem den bahe ashrudhar. Swatantra Ishwara Prabhu atyanta udar, tare na bhajile kabhu na hoye nistar. Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is supremely independent. And whoever doesn't worship him, he cannot get to liberation. So then, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells, Ore mudha loka suno Chaitanya mangal, Chaitanya mahima jate janibe sakal. So he writes that, O hey mudha lok, all living entities, the foolish living entities, please hear Chaitanya mangal. So this Chaitanya Mangal is Chaitanya Bhagavat only. So when later on this Chaitanya Mangal was written by another writer, Lochan Das Thakur. So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur agrees to change his literature's name to be Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Chaitanya Mahima Jate Janibe Sakal. Just by reading this Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Bhagavat, you will understand the glories of Lord Sri Chaitanya Dev. Krishna Leela Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyas, Chaitanya Leela Vyasa Vrindavana Das. So Krishna Leela Vyas is, of course, Ved Vyas, but Chaitanya Leela Vyas is Vrindavan Das. Vrindavana Das Kailo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahara Shravane Nase Sarva Mangal. Chaitanya Nitair Jate Janiye Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhante Rasima. Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhante Rasar, Likhiya Chaniha Jani Kariya Uddhar. So he writes that all the inauspiciousness of Jiva will go away just by reading Chaitanya Bhagavat. And one will able to understand all the conclusions of Vedas in Chaitanya Bhagavat. And Bhagavate Jato Bhakti Siddhanta Sar Likhiya Se Niha Jani Kariya Uddhar. Chaitanya Mangala Sune Jadi Pashandi Javan Seho Maha Vaishnav Hoya Tatakhan. Even Pashandis, those who are impostors, and Javan means those who are meat eaters, and those who are averse of Vedic understanding. Even they will also hear Chaitanya Bhagavat, they will immediately become Mahavaishnava. Hari Bol. So Manushya Rachite Nare Aisya Grantha Dhanya. So no human being can write such a literature? Vrindavana Dasamukhe Vakta Sri Chaitanya. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is writing, but through the mouth of Vrindavan Das Thakur. Vrindavana Das Pade Koti Namaskar Aisha Grantha Karite Ho Tarila Sansar. Giving such a literature like Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur has delivered the three worlds. So I pay my humble obeisances to such Vrindavan Das Thakur. Narayani Chaitanyera Uchchishta Bhojan Tar Garbhe Janmila Sridas Vrindavan Tariki Adbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan Jahara Shravane Shuddha Kailo Tribhuvan Atayeva Bhajaloka Chaitanya Nityananda Khandibe Sansara Dukkha Pave Premananda. So like this, if somebody worships Chaitanya and Nityananda, all the material problems will get sublimated, and he will get the bliss of love of Godhead. So with these words, today, we'd like to conclude today's session here. We discussed today in this particular sloka that how mind is a central instrument which is responsible for our conditioning, our bondage, and the mind is the instrument by which we can get liberated. And this liberation is very, very easily facilitated by a jiva taking up the service and the instructions of sadhu, vaidya, very sincerely in his life. And that will facilitate him to be always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. In this way, not only he will get liberated from this material bondage, but he will get premananda. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So next we have some 5 to 7 minutes. Any comment, any correction, any chastisement? Welcome. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, Prabhuji is...
Hare Krishna. I just want to remind your audience that if you don't ask a question, it shows that you have no understanding of what he's talking about. So it's pretty important that you work out a question. In Srimad Bhagavatam class, it's the most interesting subject. You spoke a lot about the coverings of the living entity, Nitai. So we know the living entity, Jiva Atma, is Satchitananda Vigraha. Can you express more about these qualities that the living entity has? A description of the living entity is not enough.
So far I understand your question, Prabhuji, that your question is that you talked about the coverings of living entities, but the nature of living entity is Satchidananda. So you have not talked about more about the qualities of the living entities in the context of Sachi being Satchidananda. This is what is your question, Prabhu?
Just to give us more enthusiasm, because we know the material situation is pretty hopeless, and you've expressed that, previous talker expressed that. Give us your understanding of the qualities of Jiva Atma.
So, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very insightful question. So, Prabhuji asking about the qualities of Jivatma. Of course, quality is Satchidananda, as Prabhu has told. He is eternally existent. He is all cognizant and is all blissful in connection with Krishna. But somehow or other, because of, just like Prabhupada gives the example of fire, the small particles of fire, when it comes out from the main stream of the flame, then it happens to get extinct. So this is what the Jivatma is now. So one is Brahma Bhuta and then there is Jiva Bhuta. When we call about Jivatma, so now we are Jiva Bhuta. we are in the position of extinction. We have forgotten ourselves, practically we have lost ourselves. Because we have forgotten Krishna, that's why this position of forgetfulness, of maybe we can say like wilderness, like we have forgotten ourselves, to whom we belong. So that's why the jiva is, that's what the jiva's condition is now in this material world. So now we are in jiva bhuta, we have get to Brahma bhuta, but that platform could only be approached when a jiva takes up very determined devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Shmaranam. So in the cultivation of such devotional service, he again be revived back his original relationship with Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And in this way he'll become again Brahma Bhuta, again liberated. So this is what my little understanding, and other devotees could also put some light, throw some light over it. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your class. So you were talking about like Vaidyas and sadhus. So in this Kali Yuga, if we see majority of the living entities, their mind, as you said that if mind is our friend, then it will liberate us. But mind is causing a lot of problems, and we know like padam padam vipadam in material world. So how do we take our mind to that advanced level where the mind is always like giving us fear of material world?
So the mind has to be, actually the mother's question is that mind is of course very difficult to control. The whole Bhagavad Gita is based upon this only. Arjuna himself tells us Chanchalam, Himana, Krishna. So it's all the training of mind. That's why Acharya has given Mana Shiksha, so many Acharya has given the teachings to the mind. So mind has to be trained up actually. This mind is just like a monkey having so many different traits. It's chanchal, it's mad, pramati, it's balavan, it's very powerful, dridam, is obstinate. So it has to be trained up. The whole cultivation of Krishna consciousness is nothing but training the mind. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj used to say that as soon as you get up early in the morning, broom your mind, you beat the mind. It doesn't mean that we should beat the head, but we should broom the mind by chanting the names of Krishna. We should chant the names of Krishna with relationship with, sambandha jnana with Krishna, that we belong to him, he belongs to us. So in this way, this mind will be trained up slowly. And while going to bed also, we should beat the mind. Like sometimes devotee do a lot of book distribution, this and that. So yes, I'm doing something. So they have to beat the mind, useless fellow, you are nothing. Just part and parcel servant of Krishna. So beating the mind, probing the mind, this training of mind, cleansing of mind goes ahead. Unless somebody gets to that platform, that he naturally get attracted toward Krishna. And the heart becomes fully purified, and mind gets naturally attracted toward Krishna. So then there is no problem at all. So it's all about cultivation, sadhana, right? This is what is called. Same devotional service one does, keep doing. So afterwards, after a number of years, mind becomes very much friendly. Friendly doesn't mean that. Friendly means he becomes Krishna conscious. Yes. So then it's success. So Sankirtan helps us for that. The Sankirtan movement helps us for that. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Preaching the holy name, talking about Krishna to people, book distribution, so on and so forth. This really helps so much. Otherwise, alone, great yogis for thousands of years, they could not do it, right? There is testimony of it. But Sankirtan works very powerfully. If somebody takes up the chanting the holy name in the service mode, chanting and spreading the holy name, then mind becomes very easily tamed, and Jiva becomes victorious, getting back to Krishna. This is my humble understanding. Hare Krishna. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.